Hey, Tony here. All right, here we go. We are headed down to the final stretch, tactic number 13. Let me tell you, after speaking to thousands of investors, hands down, one of the biggest questions is, Tony, how do I find the deals? I look online, I just really haven't been able to find any parks. I know that mobile home parks are the best niche out there, and a lot of investors are finding out about them now, seeing as other asset classes are overinflated. So, again, what you want to do is you want to take a completely different approach. As we sit here at tactic number 13, and again, my apology, you're not able to see me. I just want to share the screen and teach you everything that I do and everything that I know. With that said, mobile home park suppliers. This is a huge avenue to acquire deals. Let me ask you, mobile home park suppliers. Now, when you think about suppliers, this is where mobile home park owners are going. This is where mobile home park managers are going to get skirting for their houses, or to get PEX plumbing lines, or to get any type of other water meters or valves. So the owners are right there at the supply houses. So what you want to do is you want to find a way to position yourself. Now, again, in my spreadsheets, so there's a total of over 5,000 mobile home park suppliers in the US. So when you think about that, that's a lot of different avenues to get out there to create relationships with the suppliers. Now, let me ask you, what you want to do is, I get so many questions from investors. Where do I start? How do I begin? Okay, I'm into it, Tony. I want to do it. I want to start, but I need an actionable step and know exactly what to do. Number one, where do you want to begin? Which state? Now, if you're like me, I'm in Southern California. I'm not going to start here simply because a 5% cap rate on a mobile home park is not too appealing. I'd rather start towards the Bible Belt states. The center of the U.S. is essentially what we found to be the sweet spot, if you will. Number one, you want to make sure it's a landlord-friendly state. Yes, we love our residents, but you don't want them not paying lot rent and being able to stay for 6 months. And then number two, you also want to make sure that you're not in a rent control state as well. I talk to so many investors, and take California, for example, and you buy a park there. Here's the thing is, inflation, it goes up, our water bill goes up, our taxes go up, our utilities go up, and if we're not able to pass that through onto the residents, we get backed into a corner, and that's how you ultimately can lose the asset. So with that said, find the one state. Again, and I talk about this all the time, the person that chases too many rabbits ultimately catches none. You don't want to squirrel out. You definitely want to stay focused, razor sharp, literally like the tip of a diamond focus. And that's what the most successful investors are doing out there, is they've got a strategic plan, they're highly focused, and they go right after it. Number two, if you're interested, I've got my personal spreadsheets as well. That's a quick way for you to collapse time frames. Just for example, again, this is kind of why I'm doing the screen share so you can see it. So I pulled up Kentucky right here, and we've got a total of 120 mobile home park suppliers in the state of Kentucky alone. So the key is just really getting in there and creating a relationship with the suppliers. Do you send them a letter? Do you ask if you can have your business cards in their office? Send them a gift card. Find a way to add value to them, and then ultimately create that relationship. Okay, so getting back into the slides. If you're not interested in the spreadsheets, totally good. I get it. What I would do then is find the state that you're looking for and use your man Google and get on there and just simply start researching. I'd certainly leverage a virtual team, and again, I can help you with that as well. But if you're interested in Kentucky or Iowa or Indiana, just type mobile home park suppliers, and then slowly start going through and building up your own database, if you will. Okay, again, if you're interested, I've got every spreadsheet in the whole entire United States. We've had our virtual team working countless years on data entry and incorporating pertinent information on every sector of mobile home parks, if you will. Okay, so let's get into developing your strategy. Now, number one is you want to always lead with the other person's needs, not yours. You want to find a way to seek alignment. So what I mean by that is, what are they looking for? The supplier. They're looking to sell parts. They're looking to get more clients. So for an example is, maybe you have an investor friend and they own a park. Maybe what you do is see if they can offer you a deal on parts in bulk, and then find a way to, the key is to be a connector. Find a way to connect maybe one of your investor friends with the mobile home park supplier. Or if you got a broker and you can find a way to get them plugged in. A lot of brokers own parks as well. So again, just find a way to serve them, see what they're looking for, and add value to them. That's your quickest way to really getting your foot in the door. And then number two, what I do is, once you start to create a relationship with them, then find a way to position yourself and just really get in there and get in the office, if you will. And what I mean by that is you can do it virtually. So maybe you send them, maybe you ask if it's okay if you send them a stack of postcards. Hey, we buy parks, we pay a referral fee. Or, again, when you go into, how many hardware stores have you gone into and you see flyers on the wall? Well, maybe you ask them if it's okay if you put up a flyer on the wall. And again, one way to do this is you can mail it to them, but the only way that they're really going to want to physically do that is if there's some compensation on their end. So again, that's where the call comes into place. Start with the call, set the table, get in alignment, and they're going to want people to pull the tags off the flyers, or take one of the business cards that shows that we buy parks, because on the back of that card you're going to have their name and essentially a code that ties them to that card. And let me ask you this: if you were the manager working in the supply house and you had the opportunity to get $2,500 per closed part, I'd be like, hey, Tony, man, send me some more stuff. This stuff's going out the window. So again, that's positioning and adding value to them. And again, we covered on the back of the business card, postcard, find a way to attach their name to it and then convey that to them over the call as well. What I'd probably do is, after you have a call with them, I'd send them out a letter and send them out an example of the card and what that looks like, so that they can actually see it, and then follow up about 7 days later or 5 days later, make sure they received the letter in the mail, and again, ask them if it's okay. And essentially that's going to be your first step. Now, in terms of an investment strategy, again, start with a call, introduce yourself, let them know that you're in the business. Maybe you ask them, hey, you know what? I'm a local mom and pop investor. I'm looking for parks. We got this great program that we just started right now. We're growing in the area, and we wanted to introduce ourselves to you, and ultimately create a relationship. So here you can see on the left, and then I'm going to give you this letter template, and then I'm also going to give you my postcard template as well. And then as you can see on the right there, that's just literally, so what is it, 2 inches by 4 inches. So if you can find a way to have that in their office and have it, maybe it's like a yellow postcard, something sticky, something bright where they can really see it. And maybe the front of it, we buy parks, and then again on the back of it, find a way to add a code to that particular individual. Okay, competition. I've never really heard or seen anybody doing this. So again, if you're watching this, find your state, find the dealerships, the suppliers, the transporters really quick. Position yourself out there, and definitely create a relationship as fast as you can, and get an edge. That's what I do. 80-20. Again, we talk about this in so many videos. Leverage your team first. What I would do is, again, if you're calling the dealership, the supplier, or the transporter, have your virtual team member give them a quick call just to confirm that, number one, they've got the correct phone number, and number two, the address. All you need to do is keep it simple. Hey, you know what? Just calling to see how late you guys were open till today. We're open till 6. Okay, great, thank you. Can you tell me, are you still located at 452 XYZ? Well, now what I would do is, if you're creating your own spreadsheets, or if you want mine, what I do is I'd label that a different color. So what I like to do is I like to have the color green. So here, let me just show you an example here really quick of what I would do. So again, all right, so right here, say your virtual assistant calls on this particular park. So what you could do is at the top here, you could do a new one. You could do VA called, okay? And then if the number's good, then again, some things I love to do digital and some things I like to do old school. So you could do one of two things. You could just turn this right here for the green light, meaning that this is ready to mail, all right, or ready to call on them or follow up or send a letter. And then I'd have the VA put a date there as well. And then if you call here, and let's just say that this is the correct address because you looked it up and they moved. So you got that, and then just a totally elementary, then just do this red right here. Let's see. All right, red. So then this red right here, you're going to do another tag. So so have team member essentially locate correct phone number. Okay. All right. So then that's what I do. And then what I do is once they have that, I would put that new number over here. And once that number's good, then I turn that green. So it pretty much is really that simple. And you just want to stay focused on that. Let's just say what I would do is, say I'm looking at a park in Kentucky, for example. I'd find every single broker, every single realtor, every single dealership, supplier, and transporter, and I would just have razor focus within that area. And again, you think about that, you're going to have that many more avenues on looking for deals. Focus on leverage, we covered that. So now that you have the correct number, build out your introduction call. What I would do is I'd have a domestic VA do that and essentially just have them introduce themselves. You could oversee the call and make sure that they've got a crystal clear calling script. And again, this is a bit different than dealerships, where a dealership it's more of an intimate setting. They might have like smelly candles inside there because they're selling $50,000 and $100,000 houses, where they've got the warm cookies just coming out of the oven. It's almost like a car dealership, where it's a different type of environment than a supply house. A supply house is, you can picture it, it's like an Ace Hardware or like a Home Depot type of store. So you want to be mindful of how you position yourself. And again, this may be more acceptable to have a virtual assistant call as opposed to you being on the phone calling 50 dealerships yourself. And again, as opposed to dealerships, I'd get out there and I'd find every single supplier that I possibly could. Okay, lessons learned. We covered this. As opposed to a dealership, this is a bit different. So be mindful, take a different approach. With this strategy, you can switch up your marketing a bit. What I would do is I would call and I would send a follow-up letter. If they don't respond, maybe I'd send another letter, or maybe I just start sending more of a email marketing, like a drip campaign meeting. Maybe you do 3 or 4 different postcards a year and build those postcards out just to suppliers, if you will. Hey, we're a mom and pop ownership. We're new to your area and we're curious if you have any deals. And then doing like huge bold, we pay $2,500 for a successful closing. And then again, so the biggest factor to your success in this is don't quit. It's the person that stays at it is the person that wins. And let me ask you, say you reach out to 100 different suppliers. Well, if you send them a postcard maybe all in might only be 50 cents, 60 cents. So that's going to be what, $50 per mailing? So if you do six mailings a year, you're only looking at a few $100s. And ask yourself, what type of results are you going to get after 6 mailings? They're going to be like, oh, holy crap, who is this guy? I'm like sick and tired of getting these cards. So hopefully they're saving those cards. And I guarantee you that suppliers they're intimately involved with the mobile home park owner. So they know the ins and outs, they know the intricacies. And again, just stay persistent, stay focused, and stay at it. So, all right, that's going to cover it in this tactic. I hope I was able to add some great value to you. This is a great strategy, and I thank you for your time.